Good afternoon, folks. This is Deb. And as I prepare to go into my big stream with Dave, the Factorist report for tonight, I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about what's going on in LA. So in LA, people are fighting back against ICE. That's simply what it is. I've watched, I don't know how many videos of what's going on there. And let me just say this, nothing that's going on there isn't anything that the Los Angeles Police Department can't handle. There is absolutely no reason to call out the National Guard and to put the Marines on high alert. Okay? Let's be clear about this. This is Donald Trump's big power play here to intimidate the people so that they back off from standing out in the streets against him. And we must absolutely not, we must not give in to his bullshit, okay? June 14th is no King's Day. His big military parade, which will usher in American fascism if we back off and we bow down. We need to be out in force on the 14th. In force. En masse. In every city in this country. And I'd like to remind everybody that Donald Trump incited an insurrection on January 6th, 2021. And then he refused to call out the National Guard in his own backyard as a bunch of right-wing thugs beat outnumbered Capitol policemen mercilessly with whatever they could find. For him to say that there were no weapons there is bullshit. There were people in the trees with AR-15 style rifles, as reported by the Secret Service and the FBI. There were people using police shields against the police to beat them. They were being beaten with poles. They were being beaten with flagpoles. They were being sprayed with bear spray. Those are all weapons. Donald Trump himself said at that insurrection, he did not care that they had weapons because they weren't coming there to shoot him. And the insurrectionists who did show up there intended to break into the Capitol, which they did, and intended to kidnap and harm Democratic legislators and actually built gallows outside and then started calling for Mike Pence to be hung. Let me remind everybody in America that, particularly the MAGA people who won't care because they're brain dead. And yet he seems to think that it was legitimate to call out the National Guard to a city across the other side of the country. Donald Trump is a bully, and he's a bullshit artist, and he's a fascist, and he's a liar. And he called out the National Guard because he knew it would inflame the people of California and inflame the people that were on the streets in Los Angeles, because he's hoping for violence. He's hoping for justification for what he really wants to do, which is to make us all cower in our homes and be afraid of him. But we must not give in to him. I have been out there on the streets since he took office at several protests. There has been absolutely no violence at any of them. And we need to keep it that way on the 14th. But we need to be there. And we must not be intimidated. We must not be fearful of him, because inherently fascists are weak little men. And Donald Trump is a weak little man. And as far as the GOP is concerned, they're a bunch of freaking death cult Donald Trump zombies. They are too cowardly to stand up to him and have no problem selling the rest of us up the river and making him king. Well, you know what? We rejected a king in 1776. We need to reject him right now. I will talk to you all later.